Roger, Babylon Control. Delta Squad, open fire. Target engines and navigation if possible. But if you have to take them out, do it. Roger, leader.
Come on.
4, 5, and 8.
Come on. Heat is lit. Come to Papa. Got it. Box away. This is 7. Target splashed. React Team 12, go to Blue 26 with the lockout.
2 non-vessels destroyed, 2 damaged and out of the fight. Remaining Centauri vessels are offering to surrender.
All right, pick them up, bring them in, and throw them in the brig. And I want every one of those ships scanned for weapons. And tell Ambassadors Jakar and Londo I want to see them in chambers now.
What if they refuse?
Then you can throw them in the...
Security, there is a major riot going on at the entrance to Shelter Blue 7.
Then invite them again as firmly and as politely as you can. This nonsense has gone far enough.
The nonsense Captain Sheridan referred to is the Narn-Centauri War, which over the past several months has grown into a conflict which threatens to spill into other systems and lead to an escalation of hostilities. Prior to the battle we just witnessed, ISN spoke with representatives from both sides in order to better understand the history of this conflict.
Roughly 150 of your years ago, the Centauri came to our world. Narn was a green and fertile place then. We greeted them in peace and spent the next 100 years in chains. But we never gave up hope. We formed a resistance, learned their secrets, turned their own machines against them, and finally drove them from our world.
How did you become involved with the resistance?
My family lived in Jakamazad, one of the larger cities on Narn. My father served in a Centauri household during the last years of the rebellion. I was barely a pouchling at the time. My mother was ill, unable to escape through the underground, so we all stayed. It was a difficult time. We were striking deep into Centauri resources. Things were tense. One day, my father spilled a cup of hot jala on the mistress of the house, and she had him killed. They took him out, tied his hands together, and hung him from a jalwa tree for 3 days. I came to him the last night against my mother's orders, and he looked down at me. He said he was proud and to go and fight and be all the things he never was. Then he died. The next morning, I ran away and killed my first Centauri.
Why do you think they invaded back then?
Why does any advanced civilization seek to destroy a less advanced one? Because the land is strategically valuable, because there are resources that can be cultivated and exploited, but most of all, simply because they can. You have experienced much the same on your own world. There are humans for whom the words "never again" carry special meaning, as they do for us.
How do you respond to reports that your military has lost 6 out of the last 7 engagements with the Centauri forces, and now the war consists mainly of holding actions and forced retreats?
Centauri propaganda. We will never fall back. We will never surrender.
When we first met the Narn, they were, what? A primitive people. We gave them technology centuries ahead of their own, took them with us to the stars, taught them laws, civilized them. They repaid us with terror and death.
So you're saying that the Centauri originally came to help the Narn?
Of course. And at considerable expense, I might add, which is why we finally left. We wished them well, but the cost, you see.
Then you weren't driven off the Narn homeworld.
Please. The Narn have rewritten history enough, don't you think? If they wanted us gone, we were hardly going to force the issue. But ever since, they have grown more and more irrational, have gone out of their way to harm us, to seize Centauri territory. Finally, we had